Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Hey everyone, I'm Candy and we are here at Devon House J. Ray and Nephew to celebrate Jimmy and Joy. Jimmy is of course the chairman of J. Ray and Nephew. He is Mr. Clement Jimmy Lawrence, and Joy Spence is the only female master blender. They were both honored with orders of distinction at the National Heroes Ceremony, and tonight we celebrate them. Stay tuned. First of all, Jimmy, congratulations on your order of distinction earlier this week.
Thank you so much. You know, I'm elated and humbled because it's so wonderful to be recognized by the government and one's peers, and so it's a really wonderful thing to happen to me, and I feel particularly proud.
Talk to us about your journey with J. Ray and Nephew. What has that been like?
Well, I started with the group in 1995. And I've been through a number of areas. I think what the group had offered to me is something that anyone would die for in their career, quite frankly. So I've been with Federated Pharmaceuticals, Plastic Containers, Lascelles Laboratories, Lascelles Wines and Spirits, Lascelles Distribution, Ray and Nephew. And not only that, I've had stints in production, in sales and marketing, you know, the whole works, in warehousing, you know, so it's a really broad exposure that was was afforded me, and for that I'm really grateful.
So tonight they're also celebrating Joy. Talk to us about her and her journey and what that means.
You know, I was just saying earlier in a conversation, you know, to receive this accolade with Joy is a huge privilege for me, quite frankly. Joy is a phenomenal woman. She has accomplished so much, you know, the first female blender in the world, you know, that is awesome. And she's so intelligent and so engaging, you know, and caring. She's, you know, I remember, you know, having simple illnesses, and Joy would, you know, she had such a deep concern that the humanity in her is just amazing, a wonderful person. I'm particularly proud to have this moment with her. You know, us jointly receiving this honor.
I have the pleasure of talking to Joy Spence OD now. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
What has it been like to be recognized?
It is a humbling feeling to be recognized by the Jamaican government and by the people of Jamaica, and to receive the Order of Distinction Commander class is really, really an awesome feeling, and to be awarded it for actually promoting Jamaica rum and brand Jamaica, it's very special to me.
You're the first female master blender, not just in Jamaica, but in the world. Talk to us about your journey there.
Yes, in 1997, I became the first female master blender in the entire spirit industry in the world. It was really a humbling feeling to really realize that a Jamaican woman actually broke the glass ceiling and made way for other females to become master blenders.
Okay, now I asked Jimmy as well, and I'm gonna ask you your impression of him and his journey with you, because both of you are being celebrated tonight.
Well, Jimmy is well deserving of the award. He's a very humble, hardworking individual, very supportive, and he has been one of my mentors along the way, and it is so great that both of us have received the awards together. I don't think any other company has actually had two individuals receiving national honors at the same time. So it's very special for J. Ray and Nephew.
Since my arrival in Jamaica, Jimmy and I have worked very closely together. And during that time, we've developed a certain mode of communication, which I will describe as a mixture of banter, friendly jabs, and sometimes more sober moment. So in many ways, you know, over time, Jimmy has become kind of my Jamaican brother. So when we received the news that the national award was being presented to Jimmy and Joy, my first reaction was one of joy, you know, of happiness for them, and also of pride. And my second reaction was, oh, so now I have to call Jimmy honorable each time I talk to him? You know, I talk to him a lot because we see each other every day. But thank goodness, he says, no, Jimmy, JP, you don't need to do that, you know, at least not yet. So, joy, what to say about joy? Everything has been said about joy. For me, Joy is a very, very impressive woman. Actually, I had a long career in this business, and she has been by far the most impressive woman I've been working with over all these years. So we all know that she's a creator of the finest rum in Jamaica. I would say even scrap that. I think she's even, you know, the finest creator of the best rum in the world at this point, you know. She is the ultimate glass ceiling breakers. She's a kind and strong force that improves everything and everyone that in her path. And there's something you may not know about Joy, is that in our business, in our industry, in the spirit industry, she is a true global superstar. She's known by everyone that counts, and there's an immense amount of respect for her and what she's accomplished. So this is why we're here this evening. You know, I couldn't miss this opportunity to throw a party to my two favorite people, and I hope that we can make tonight memorable, enjoyable, and of course, spirited.
I want to especially recognize our honorees here tonight, Joy Spence and Jimmy Lawrence. I would say the J squared is the evening, probably in keeping with J, Ray, and Nephew. So we are celebrating the J's tonight. But I am pleased to be here. Despite having events elsewhere which would command my attention, I would not miss this occasion because I think we are properly honoring two of our modern day heroes in Jamaica. And they are important to us for two sets of reasons. First of all, I think both Jimmy and Joy have personally demonstrated in their own life the qualities of professionalism, diligence, commitment to excellence that is so needed, so much needed in Jamaica and so valued. Each of them, in their own way, have blazed a trail that so many could emulate, and I certainly want to congratulate them for those qualities which have enabled them to reach to the pinnacle of their respective professions and avocations.
Joy and Jimmy, I didn't want to include the J's in this, but it is appropriate because they do represent Jay, Ray, and Nephew. And I think that my friend, the leader of the opposition, was in fine fettle tonight. Very spirited indeed. And I'm sure that he spoke very eloquently and well about the power and value of that family combination of J, Ray, and Nephew. But J, Ray, and Nephew has been more than just a name and a family reference in Jamaica. It has become an icon and a statement of the value of Jamaica's output in rum and spirits. And I travel in various places, and one of the things that define Jamaica in many places, especially in Mexico and in parts of Brazil, is J. Ray and Nephew, or Appleton rum. And so it is always a wonderful feeling when you are cited for the work that you've done. And Joy and Jimmy this evening are brought before us as prime examples of that point of excellence that we reach where a grateful nation can accord to them the 5th highest honor in the land, Commander of the Order of Distinction. And so I know that we can continue to enumerate the various points of excellence that they have attained on the journey over time. And I know too that we would be failing in terms of our own ability to enumerate the full extent of their contributions in their various areas. But I want to make the point that theirs have been a road well trodden, and theirs have been an experience worth emulating. And I want to establish and present them before you all and the nation tonight as true exemplars of a wonderful tradition, a great Jamaica that has produced outstanding and iconic people. Tonight, Joy and Jimmy, I say to you both, congratulations, God bless you both, and I know you have many, many more years, and you only got the 5th honor. There's more to come. Keep on doing well. God bless you both.
Stay tuned to Business Access TV. We'll have much more from the event celebrating Jimmy and Joy right after this.
Dodge & Global offers a CPA scholarship program to team members who join our team. A career in accountancy at Dodge & Global is a great choice and can offer you excellent job prospects. We believe that an accounting education is the greatest gift you can give yourself or anyone else. Few gifts make as significant an impact as the gift of an accountancy education with a job. It's a contribution that lasts a lifetime in the form of learning, opportunity, and success. Join our team and get the opportunity to be part of our CPA scholarship program. This scholarships awards program will be administered by the HR department of Dodge & Global. Requirement: first degree in accounting. Employed at Dodge & Global. Willing to pursue the CPA examination. Here's how to apply. Submit application to Staff Accountant, Dodge & Global. Email sa@dodgen.com.
Welcome back. We return to the highlights celebrating Jimmy and Joy.
Let me first say how proud our family is about Jimmy's accomplishments. I tell people my life is simple and happy. I've been married for 34 years to this gentleman, and I have no regrets. We have 2 beautiful and brilliant girls, Swad and Imani, and now we have the addition of a wonderful son, Sean. If life at home is simple beyond this, it appears to us that Jimmy unleashes complexity and adaptability in his career. In review, the multiple roles Jimmy has played in his career over the years makes him like a jack of all trades and bucking the expectation by mastering many. Let's briefly review his job experiences, starting from teacher of chemistry, as Faye said, for 3 months, to production planner, purchasing manager, production manager, manufacturing systems manager, warehouse manager, engineering manager, technical manager, plant manager, let me take a breath, general manager, chief operating officer, head of marketing and sales, managing director, and now chairman. I am sure he has spent no more than 3 years in any assignment. His notable involvement in increasing the label for Magnum and marketing the brand, among others, are highlights of how bold and adventurous he is in areas in which he ought not to be competent. And just when you think he would be in a plateau, he is awarded a national hero honor, As we celebrate tonight, the Order of Distinction, Commander Class. Wow. And he is so modest about it. His idol in this is Dr. Joy Spence, his friend of whom he is so proud. A round of applause for Joy, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is really a pleasure for me to join with the distinguished persons represented here tonight in paying tribute to my wife and friend, Joy. A gifted woman with exceptional talents who has served Ray and Nephew with distinction. And the national recognition that she has received on Monday is a result of her hard work. Joy, your exploits as an accomplished chemist, blending various potions to make various exotic and award-winning spirits, especially Appleton rums, and the promotion of brand Jamaica around the globe are well known and documented. However, if it wasn't for your mother, we may not have experienced her magic with the spirits, as she would have been helping other needy souls to take on the Holy Spirit. So, ladies and gentlemen, Joy first wanted to be unknown. However, her mom told her, as well as the teacher at Holy Child, that she'd have none of it because she wanted grandchildren. And I have personally thanked my mother-in-law for that, because Joy is the mother of two beautiful children. Tracy Ann, who is here tonight, and Sean, who due to work commitments overseas could not make the trip home. To your children, you have been a mother, a mentor, a role model, and a friend. Your family and friends have always been very important to you, and you always find time for them and to make contact with them. Over the years, you have found cause to celebrate every success and achievement, and it has been an enjoyable ride. Can I ask Jimmy and Joy to please join me on stage? To mark this occasion with a small gift that captured the spirit of Jimmy and Joy, that will be also aligned with the Campari corporate culture, what we call Camparista, Dr. Phillips, and which is basically small but unique, stylish but fun, relaxed but with very high professional standard. And so we scratched our heads and we basically came up with this. So let me just, if you could please have them. I like the hat, Jimmy. So now for the best part of the evening. You have in your glass a one-of-a-kind masterpiece created by the master herself, especially for this occasion. So please join me as we raise our glasses in a salute to our G. Ray and nephew heroes, Jimmy and Joy. They are the embodiment of the true Jamaican spirit, which I surmise as resilient, friendly, driven, passionate, determined, and unique. To Jimmy and Joy. To you guys.
My name is Levon Flynn, and you're watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
There are few more things more exhilarating than to be recognized by one's country and peers, with family in tow, and particularly when it is unanticipated. This has been an amazing evening, just by virtue of the fact that we're all gathered here with you as guests representing various aspects of my relationships over the years. I am indeed elated and humbled. I gave thought as regards to what I'd say because you all know book and verse about me, and all that's left for me to do now is to give the vote of thanks, and this is it. At the risk of omission, I will mostly speak to groups rather than individuals. But you have all played tremendous roles in my life, and for that I am indeed grateful. I wish to express the gratitude to the Governor General, His Excellency the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, the Prime Minister, Most Honorable Andrew Holness, and the Minister of Tourism, Honorable Edmund Bartlett, for their collective endorsement and facilitation of the accolade bestowed on me. I give my commitment to this country that I love so dearly to continue making my personal contribution to building capacity and inspiring our youth in the belief that all can realize their dreams and aspirations with adequate preparation and commitment to one's stated goals. I must also recognize my colleague, Dr. Joy Spence. Joy is a phenomenal woman. We all agree, kind, caring, and highly intelligent. I am privileged to be a recipient of this honor along with her this year. I would also like to recognize a business associate, Mr. Clifton Yap, who on this occasion was awarded the Honor Order of Distinction Commander Class. Clifton is responsible for the architectural design execution of the Appleton Estate Rum Experience being constructed in St. Elizabeth. I'd also like to recognize and congratulate all other recipients of awards here in attendance. JP, our Managing Director, my colleague and friend, of course, is the initiator of this event, as my sources tell me. JP and I never compete. Even on company fun day races, we agree to run in opposite directions. The racetrack, is multi-directional so as not to compete. Unfortunately, he runs towards the start line consistently. This is an innovative cooperation, I think. It continues to be a pleasure working with you, JP. Your demeanor, your wit, and broad knowledge makes for a very easy work relationship, and I think you echoed that before. For that is of great appreciation to me, and I thank you, sir. When Taniki said to me, and I quote, "Jimmy, you got a CD." I said, "No, but I have a USB drive." Believe me, it was initially lost on me as to what this was about. Taniki has, in a very short period of time, implemented a robust and accelerated program surrounding corporate affairs and sustainability that this company, to my mind, has never experienced prior. I owe her and her expert team a debt of gratitude. Thank you and the organizing team for executing this exquisite event. To you all, I'm sincerely grateful for support, teamwork, and commitment to cause. I wish to close by proposing a toast to all of us in going forward, in the words of one of my favorite songs. May you think of your fellow man, give him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place for you and for me. Cheers, and thank you.
It is indeed a privilege and an honor to be bestowed with another national honor for my contribution to the rum industry and brand Jamaica. It is these two areas that spark my passion. I've been immensely fortunate that my 35 years tenure at J. Nephew has allowed me to pursue my passions. And passion is what it takes to make a mark in this world. Follow your instincts and your heart, and you cannot go wrong. This would not have been possible without the unwavering support of my family. Emile, Tracy, and Sean, my #1 cheerleaders, my #1 Facebook posters. Everywhere you go, you see a like, you see Sean and Tracy. My friends, my dear friends, I don't have a lot of friends, but I have very dear friends who are close to my heart, who are sitting right there. My classmates, my student who is here, my rum industry colleagues, fellow camperistas, and in particular, my beloved PSC team, PSC, enough respect. In the true spirit of Jamaica, I was awakened out of my bed in August at 3 a.m. in New Zealand by JP, our managing director, shouting, "We're going to have a big party to celebrate your CD with yourself and Jimmy." I said, "But JP, are you sure about this? Because I already have a national honor." He says, "No, you're getting a bigger one," right? I said, "Okay, I am very proud and happy to hear this." And of course, there was Miss Taniki cheering in the background. So, having taken me out of REM sleep, I now had to sit up and reflect on all the various positive things that have happened in my life, and the fact that J. Nephew has been a very important part of this. It was indeed a touching moment for me, and here we are tonight, celebrating in true J. Nephew style. We do everything big. I want to thank the organizing committee for producing such a splendid and spirited event tonight, all led by Taniki. So Taniki and the organizing committee, I really appreciate it on behalf of Jimmy. I would like to take this occasion to congratulate Jimmy and to thank him for being not just a colleague, but a devoted friend who has given me tremendous support in what I do. Thank you all for being here, and continue to enjoy a spirit-filled evening. But remember, drink in moderation. Cheers, and as I always say, one love, enough respect to Jamaica.
Jean-Philippe Baer, Managing Director, joins me now. Talk to us about the contribution of Joy and Jimmy.
Well, I mean, it's an immense contribution. On Joy's side, you know, she's created some of the most famous rum in the world today. Since we acquired the company in 2012, we have increased the distribution tremendously through our group power and route to market. And we can see the reaction in all the markets. Everybody enjoys it, the trade, the consumer, and it's all due to her. You know, she created this rum. It's one of the highest standards in the world, and so we are very happy and obviously very proud of her. Jimmy has been also very, very instrumental in us being who we are today in Jamaica. You know, when we bought the company here, there was a lot of different groups. You had the Lascelles group, the Lascelles distribution, we had J. Nephew, and then the Campari group came in, and all this culture had to be mixed because we merged the companies, and it was not easy to actually be able to have a team that was united. And Jimmy has done a tremendous job as reuniting everybody. And now the team that we have is in great part because of him and his success, his professionalism, and his high standard. So we're also very grateful to him.
And that's it from us here at Devon House, where J. Ray and Nephew celebrated Jimmy and Joy. Until next time, I'm Candy, signing out for Business Access TV. I'm Candy, and welcome to Chill Spot, Jamaica's ultimate leisure show. This season promises to reveal some of the hidden treasures of the lifestyle industry by taking you to the chill spots of some of Jamaica's most brilliant business minds, giving you a glimpse into how they choose to unwind and just hold a vibe. You won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned.
It's Friday and you're just in time for another exciting edition of Jamaica Magazine. The pages today are loaded with information. You will learn about various non-conventional teaching methods for students with special needs and get lost in a lively discussion on corporal punishment. Don't you dare move a muscle. I'm Sandra Johnson and I'll be back before you know it.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, February 28. Sectors in the services industry recorded strong growth levels in the last quarter of 2019. This is outlined in the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ's review of economic performance for the October to December 2019 period. PIOJ's Director General, Dr. Wayne Henry, says hotels and restaurants recorded the highest growth of 3.5%, followed by finance and insurance services at 3.4% and electricity and water supply at 2.7%. Other service industry subsectors recording growth were transport, storage and communication, real estate, renting and business services, wholesale and retail trade, repair and installation of machinery, and producers of government services. Meanwhile, agriculture, forestry, and fishing was the high performer under the goods-producing industry with growth of 3%.
This performance was supported by an increase of 4.2% in the area of the domestic crops reaped. The crop group vegetables accounted for the largest share of domestic crops reaped, that was 36.2%, and recorded a 2.9% increase in output. Total hectares under vegetable production increased by 0.3%.
Minister of Local Government and Community Development, Desmond McKenzie, broke ground recently for the rehabilitation of the Hopewell Market in Hanover. The $20 million work will be done over a 4-month period. The existing facility will be reinforced, expanded, and get a new roof, in addition to sanitary facilities and the installation of plumbing and electrical fixtures. The project also includes plans for a parking lot to facilitate vendors who operate from motor vehicles. Minister McKenzie says the project reaffirms government's commitment to the improvement of market infrastructure across the island.
Markets are critical to the country's economic survival. Many outstanding Jamaicans and many normal, ordinary Jamaicans, parents, operate out of markets. Many ride the trucks into Kingston to come to Coronation Market, sleep in the back of the truck, sleep on stalls, just to ensure that they are able to provide for their families.
Mayor of Lucy, Councillor Sheridan Samuels, welcomed the project.
The refurbished market will not only alleviate the challenges of illegal vending on the street and blocking of the roads, but it will also improve the shopping experience of residents in the Hopewell space.
Minister McKenzie says every effort will be made to facilitate vendors while construction is underway. Government has received a donation of heavy-duty equipment to boost local disaster relief capacity. The donation comes from the United States Embassy in Kingston and the Department of Defense, U.S. Southern Command. The equipment were presented to local government minister Desmond McKenzie on Monday. They include a 195 horsepower case, 712 F-Series front-end scoop loader, and a Bobcat skid loader. Both are valued at over $250,000 and can be used for debris removal and clearing roads, among other things. Minister McKenzie says the donation is timely as it comes ahead of the next hurricane season, which runs from June 1 to November 30. Minister with Oversight for Education Carl Samuda says the $5 billion increase in his ministry's budget for the 2020-2021 fiscal year will support plans to significantly raise the standards of schools across the island. The increase over the current budget, which expires on March 31, is outlined in the estimates of expenditure now before Parliament. Minister Samuda says particular focus will be placed on ensuring schools are properly equipped with furniture and other supplies and infrastructure.
No school, no classroom must have a desk designed for 2, having 3 students at that desk. None. No classroom, no school should be devoid of proper sanitation. We want to raise the standard of our schools, no matter how small, no matter how large. We need to put our children in a learning environment that is conducive to enabling them to maximize their potential.
Mr. Samuda was addressing a recent consultation session for the Ministry of Education Region 4 held at the Montego Bay Convention Center in St. James. And finally, a trauma management team from the Ministry of Education's Region 4 office will be visiting the Rhodes Hall High School in Hanover on Monday, March 2, to provide grief counseling support to students and staff affected by the killing of a bus driver on the school compound Tuesday afternoon. Special support will be provided to the students who were transported by the bus driver. The ministry says the initial trauma management team that was mobilized was unable to gain access to the school compound as it was being treated as an active crime scene. Reports are that at approximately 12:40 p.m., 2 men on a motorbike gained access to the school compound and shot and killed bus driver Rayon McKenzie. The 31-year-old was contracted by the school to provide transportation services to students on PATH under the ministry's rural school bus program. Mr. McKenzie reportedly died on the compound after he was shot several times by the gunman. No other person was injured during the gun attack. In response, Minister with responsibility for the education portfolio, Carl Samuda, has reinforced the ministry's commitment to revisit all security arrangements and to do all that is humanly possible to ensure the security and safety of school personnel, especially children. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Protect yourself from the flu virus. Visit your nearest health center or doctor to get the flu vaccine. Cover your mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water or by using an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid the spread of germs by not touching your eyes, mouth, or nose. And be sure to regularly disinfect surfaces and objects that are used often. Remember, your health is your responsibility.
Corporal punishment continues to be quite a debatable issue in our society. The act of causing physical harm and discomfort to a child as a form of discipline has been condemned by numerous stakeholders and members of government. Instead, the use of positive discipline has been encouraged as a reasonable alternative. Check out this recent dinner conversation on the issue.
A lot of us grew up on the scripture, spare the rod and spoil the child. So if you speak to a lot of Jamaicans, we will probably tell you that corporal punishment is just a way of life. It's a rites of passage. It is something we're accustomed to. And what doesn't kill you makes you. Now, I stand here extremely lucky and extremely blessed to have been raised in a family with my grandmother and my mother. And my grandmother believed in the power of reasoning, the power of communicating, the power of understanding and working out differences. So I never experienced corporal punishment. And now that I stand as a mother of a rambunctious 7-year-old who I swear is going on 70, I implement the same things that my grandmother taught me. So I reason with her. I talk it out. Do you think that makes sense? But there are people who will tell you this doesn't work if you are a frustrated single parent, and this may not work if you come from an inner city. Well, we're here to have that conversation. Welcome to the Office of the Children's Advocates Dinner and Conversation Series.
The Office of the Children's Advocate, in association with UNICEF Jamaica, has successfully hosted its third OCA Dinner and Conversation series at the Terra Nova Hotel in Kingston.
What is this Dinner and Conversations all about? So, of course, the Office of the Children's Advocate, as most of you know, is the Commission of Parliament that is charged with the responsibility to safeguard the rights and promote the best interests of children in Jamaica in all settings. One of the things that I think is very important to do is to see how we can have facilitated discussions and get actions through very different means. How can we have stakeholders who may never ever really be in the same room at the same time gather together, fellowship over a meal, get some information based on whatever research is out there or information on a particular topic that's relevant to our children, and then give their input based on what their experiences are in their various communities and their organizations.
This year's staging of the event saw numerous stakeholders rising to the podium to share important facts on the topic and to impart valuable recommendations.
At UNICEF, we believe there is nothing more important or valuable than to protect and safeguard every child. And that means protecting every child from violence, be it sexual, emotional, psychological, or physical. We are particularly disturbed by the most common forms of violence experienced by Jamaican children, which is violent discipline. 8 out of 10 Jamaican children under age 15 are subjected to violent discipline at home. The term violent discipline includes physical aggression, like hitting or beating, as well as psychological aggression, like shouting or humiliating or calling names.
We want all our stakeholders, our teachers, our teaching associations, the clergy, the society, the private sector. We want all our partners. We want every single citizen to say enough is enough. Let us find better ways to reach out to our children. Whether we're going to give them time out, take away their privileges, whether we're going to speak to them about the consequences of their actions. And we must also always reward good behavior. Let them know that, yes, this is good. Praise them, acknowledge them. I'm proud of you, I love you, you did good. That is the correct way to do it. Let us employ these new strategies, and I promise you, it will be a new dawn in a more peaceful and loving Jamaica.
The bulk of information was presented by lead discussant for the event, Professor Joan Durant, a child clinical psychologist and Professor of Community Health Services at the University of Manitoba in Canada.
I thought we should start by figuring out just what corporal punishment is and getting a definition, because we all have different pictures in our minds of what this means. Basically, simply put, it's the administration of punishment to a child's body, and the intent is to cause pain or discomfort. What do parents really want to accomplish? What do they think they're doing when they're hitting their children? Well, one of the major goals that parents have is to teach their children right from wrong. So they want to raise children who treat other people fairly, who are kind and empathic. Usually, right, we don't want our children to be violent. We want them to be kind and good people. We want them to be able to resist temptation, and we want them to be able to make the right decision when we're not there. Out of all the 13 studies that have been conducted on this, all of them showed that children who are hit have weaker, poorer relationships with their parents. And what this means is lower levels of trust, higher levels of avoidance. Even the little slaps that nobody thinks anything of when they're toddlers, don't touch that, has a profound effect. Those children start backing away from their parents, and they stop exploring their environment. that impairs their cognitive development, and even more importantly, it impairs the relationship, the trust, the attachment. Because of all of this, countries are increasingly recognizing that corporal punishment is a serious public health issue. It's creating real problems in our societies. The level of violence here is correlated with the level of violence in homes, and it is all over the world. When you look at the relationship between the level of corporal punishment and dating violence across countries, really strong correlation. The relationship between corporal punishment and murder, high correlation. It's just simply a training ground. And so what skills do we want them to have? The skills to coerce, control, and hurt, or the skills to solve problems, to resolve conflicts, and to reason?
The Licensed Center of Excellence in St. Thomas is one of 10 such institutions across the island that caters to the unique needs of children with special needs. The school's curriculum was designed to develop the skills of students in areas such as literacy, numeracy, agriculture, welding, and home economics. Watch this.
The Licensed Center of Excellence caters to students post-primary, 13 years and up, who have been assessed and who have been diagnosed to be on the intellectually disabled spectrum. That means they're either mild to moderate. The Digital Foundation was kind enough to give us this wonderful school so St. Thomas can cater more to these children who need special attention. This institution opened its doors September 2017. We have a wonderful team here. We have teachers who love children. We have an administrative and an ancillary staff who loves children. Most naturally, the campus coordinator loves children. So we are here catering to the needs of these children because we believe in adding value. These children have a lot to offer, but you can only unearth it with patience, with love, and with care. Because if they don't trust you, you can't win them. And so, we want these children to be independent. We want them to contribute to their families, to their communities, and the society at large. And so we're preparing them for the working world. So at the Licensed Center of Excellence, we are skill-based. There is room for improvement, and we welcome the hands to share so that we can care more. We offer theater arts. Yes, the children can do a little. We communication. We do math, but not the math you know of trigonometry. No, we are teaching them how to balance their books. So they know a lot of measurement and of course money. We offer to them home economics, food preparation, and a little clothing and textile. As you walk around our lovely campus, it's green vegetation. So we do a little bit of agriculture and we're able to give to our kitchen, and the children can get to take home. Of course at a cost, because we're teaching them that everything comes with a cost, because we need money to do other things. My students are interesting and we listen to them. One boy said to me, "Miss, me no want the way you do the school and I'm want to fill your block." And so I went out into the wider community and we're actually teaching our students how to lay blocks, and they're enjoying it. In special ed, a lot of emphasis is placed on life skills. And life skills is taught in all the subject areas with extra emphasis coming from the guidance departments. So of course, Licensed Center of Excellence is the place to be.
My classroom is a corporate space. I facilitate learning. My students learn from each other. They help each other during the learning process. Enabling them, I make certain that I encourage them that there's nothing that they cannot do. And the motivation that they get from being a part of my classroom, the fact that we differentiate learning too in there and tiered activities are used, it makes no child feel left out.
What I love about the Licensed Center of Excellence, it's a level playing field. We exclude no one. So all activities, if it means you're to get assistance, be it from a classmate, a teacher, or from an ancillary worker, you're going to get the assistance because we believe in excellence. Excellence for all.
The Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts is the only school of its kind on the island. Art is the language used by instructors to unleash the innate creativity and academic excellence of all their students, whatever their various learning needs.
There's a sort of purposeful selection of the sequence in these human movements. The symbolic significance of hands massaging the air and feet beating to the vibrations of songs. They're focused, energized, ready, and raring to go. If you think about it, they are just like you and I. Well, of course, that's if you can dance. But one thing might be different.
I've been there for 23 years, and I've been dancing for 10 years. I've been there for 21 years, and I've been dancing for 14 years. So I've been hard of hearing ever since I was born until now, and I've been dancing for 16 years.
Yes, persons like Christoph, Kimberly, and Damani dance. And despite nature's act of removing a seemingly valuable aspect of their senses, these three are pursuing a certificate in dance at the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts, but not without some challenges.
Well, my experience here, at first, when the three of us just arrived, were a bit awkward in terms of communicating, but then we were able to learn from each other, learning from the hearing students, and we were able to, we had issues as well with the rhythm, keeping up with the rhythm at all times, but then we were eventually able to catch up and we started to improve gradually. So for me, my main issue is timing. So I try to work along closely with the other students in the class and the teacher as well, and then eventually I'm able to catch up with the timing in terms of the music. So my challenge during class, it's really to ensure that my body is moving with the timing and the music.
Deaf dancers do move on the beat and in one accord with the rhythm, but the surprising element in this for most persons is just how are they able to, or even why did they choose dance?
I hear a little of the music and I can feel the vibration on the floor as well. So it's not that bad for me. So I use that method throughout.
With his sense of touch heightened through his loss of hearing, Damani can interpret the music through the vibrations he feels. Deaf dancers are visual learners, so for them, their instructors sign the moves or the counts. While other dancers are busy remembering the details of the moves, those like Damani, Kimberly, and Christoph are counting, keeping time, and watching keenly what their hearing peers are doing so they can interpret the steps.
So I chose to study dancing because dancing is my life. It's my passion ever since. So I want to learn more and more about dancing. I don't want to give up. I don't want to stop. I want to continue. Because my goal is to become a dancer in the future. So when I'm finished at Endemani College, I want to become a dancer and I want to perform around the world. So my goal is to become a dance teacher so that I can empower younger deaf children who really love dancing and empower them so that they can, be as good as I am. It's their turn.
But for acting dean at the School of Dance, being deaf is not the biggest obstacle for becoming a great dancer.
I don't want to describe what we have as challenges. I want to describe them as opportunities to learn. But fundamental to dance is the ability to demonstrate and for the dancer to use their eyes and observe and learn the experience in a visual way and then demonstrate what it is that they have been taught. I think one of the interesting things about the deaf students is that their other senses are heightened. And so they're able to access the information in other ways and quite differently from the hearing students. So it's very interesting to see the learning dynamics, but the end result and the objective or the learning outcome of the experience are still achieved. And we're very happy about that because ultimately we want them to succeed.
And while for the school it is the first time opening its gates to persons like Christoph, Kimberly, and Damani to study dance,
they're eager to receive the information and we're inspired by this drive to learn and to succeed. So even though we have an interpreter, the interpreter is also learning from the experience because we have interpreters who have never been in a school environment like this where dance is concerned. So they're also learning new language. It somehow feels as though they've brought more to us.
For many of the deaf community, the fear of fitting in lingers. But for Christoph, Kimberly, and Damani, dancing is passion-driven and determination-ruled.
Well, I hope that what we've done here at the Endemani College in terms of opening our doors to 3 deaf students will encourage others and inspire them to go after their dreams.
So I remember in high school, there was a quote that says, "I believe I can achieve." I go by that. So in the Bible, it talks about, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I believe I can achieve.
Jamaica's first fort in Port Royal, Fort Charles, has received a well-needed facelift. The 500-year-old heritage site has been refurbished by the Port Authority of Jamaica and other government agencies and is now open to the public. New features have been added, such as an officer's quarters, a ticket booth, a souvenir and merchandise shop. There is also a new Giddy House exhibit building, right next to the original Giddy House that was built in 1888. These renovations are just some of the steps being taken by our government to transform the historic town of Port Royal into a thriving center for tourism. So what are you waiting on? Book your visit today and enjoy the new offerings of the site that is helping to make Jamaica a more attractive place for persons to visit. Yes, but more importantly, to live, work, raise their families, and do business. And just like that, it's time to close out today's magazine. Thanks so much for browsing the pages. We do hope you enjoy the show while learning pertinent information about government's programs and initiatives. As you go, feel free to visit our website, jis.gov.jm for our daily news stories and video uploads. And don't forget our YouTube channel. I'm Sandra Johnson. Have a fantastic weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Creating change. Building a future. Caring hands. Giving back. Touching hearts and shaping lives. Impacting our world for the better.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access. Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Hello and welcome to Business Access Television's coverage of the Golden Day Tourism Awards. We're coming to you from Montego Bay, St. James, where it's a very special day. The Ministry of Tourism and the Jamaica Tourist Board are honoring individuals who have dedicated over 50 years of service to building the local tourism industry. I'm Keneal Gale and I'll be your host, so stay tuned for the highlights. Okay, so we told you that the Ministry of Tourism and the Jamaica Tourist Board, they are honoring individuals who have dedicated over 50 years of service to the tourism industry. And speaking with me now is Melvin
Williams.
Melvin Williams, and he's been in the industry for how long?
58 years.
58 years. What's the major change you would say from when you started until now?
We have quite a bit of changes. I've seen a vast more tourists coming into the country than ever before. We have a lot more people get involved in the industry than ever before. I find that people are more better off in a living condition than before, since the industry has been grown to this dimension.
What are some of the milestones you've seen? Because you've been in it for decades. So what are some of the milestones that you've seen over the years?
In the last 15 years, it has developed very fast, rapidly. I have seen tremendous amount of hotels that has been built. The Spanish hotels, so many Spanish hotels with so many bedrooms. I've seen so many hotels built right across the country, especially in the North Coast. Our beaches have been developed, and cruise ships has been more than ever before in the past. And we have a lot more people, operators, tourist operators, drivers, who involved in this industry that been able to make a better living for their family than in the past. So most of them I discovered that they can have a better home, better school for their kids, able to send their kids to school. And even though it has been hard sometimes, but yes, they're able to do it because of the industry.
Let's talk a little bit about your journey. Tell us a little bit about where you started and what are some of the jobs that you've done within the industry.
Okay, I started at the Roundel Hotel in 1959, and I worked there until 1963. I was sent to London by Mr. John Pringle, who was the owner and director of the Roundel Hotel, to our Park Lane Hotel in Dorchester, London. And I worked there for 18 months. Then I came back to Roundel in 1964 and picked up my position there, and I worked there until 1970, where I started a transportation business of my own, carrying the tourists with my own taxi service. Then I leave there in 1970 to our Martin Tours, which was the only tour company then in Montego Bay and Jamaica. I worked with Martin Tours until 1976, when they moved out of the country. And then I was a member of JUTA from 1974. And since then, 1976, I went to the Sanders, where it was Royal Caribbean. I went to Royal Caribbean Hotel, which is now Sanders Royal, and I'm there until this very day from 1976.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us, and congratulations again. And on behalf of Jamaica, we thank you for your service.
And I've been able to school all my 6 kids, give them university training, and I think I am privileged to be here this evening to share with you the importance of the industry, and I'm grateful.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Another awardee has stopped by to talk with us. He's Michael Young, and he's been in the industry for 51 years.
51 years.
Talk to us about what you're feeling tonight. What does this function mean to you?
Well, I'm feeling proud because tourism is our #1 industry. And where I work at the airport, I welcome the tourists in when they came in with their luggage, and when they're going out, I'm the last person to say bye-bye to them.
So you have a very critical role in terms of ensuring that people feel at home when they come and want to come back.
Right, and I operate on a tip basis. And whether I get money or not, I still give a smile and say, come back to Jamaica, man.
All right, talk to us about your journey in the industry. You say you work at the airport now, but that's where you've always been, or you've had different jobs?
Well, I do a little truth and tourism too, from the shipport now, because I'm not living back anymore now. I'm getting older. But I've been at the airport from there was 4 aircraft. 4 aircraft.
4 aircraft?
Right. And now you have over 35, 40 coming in per day.
Nice, nice. How has the tourism evolved in your eyes in terms of the product that we are offering here in Jamaica?
It's growing rapid. To what it started from, it's growing rapid. I am pleased. I passed the airport a while ago, and I was happy to see the amount of planes on the ground and the amount of buses. And tourism is quick money. It's foreign exchange. It's the biggest industry in Jamaica. Quick cash.
You talk to a lot of tourists. So what do you think are some of the things that we can do better? As in some of the things that we can do to make tourists more comfortable, let them feel more safe, make them feel more welcome.
Tourists like a smile, and they like to be comfortable. They like to congratulate and ask them to come back to Jamaica and go the extra mile to do something. And everything is not money. Sometimes some tourists are poorer than I and you, but they come to Jamaica. And if you treat them nice, they'll tell somebody, they maybe tell the rich guy, come to Jamaica.
All right, congratulations again. And the word you're leaving with us is treat the tourists nice.
Yeah?
And keep smiling.
Smile, keep smiling. Welcome the tourists, treat them right, keep them safe, and they will come.
All right, wise words there from Michael, who's been in the industry for over 50 years. We're now speaking with Wordsworth Watson, and he's been in the industry for 65 years, all of 65 years.
Yes, sir, unbroken.
65 unbroken years. It just boggles my mind, and it's a wow for me to. So first of all, thank you for your contribution to the industry. And how are you feeling to be here tonight?
Extremely good, because in 1960 I went to a seminar down Casa Montego, and the lecturer was from UWI, and his remarks was that he was the brightest one in there, and anybody in the tourism sector are from the lowest category of the workers. And after that, Shearer realized that we were not being cared for, and he decided to start a program, but unfortunately he died before the program could get off the ground.
Talk to us a little bit about what does the tourism industry mean to you as an individual, and also as an individual being able to contribute to the growth of this wonderful industry from its infancy up until now.
Very good. It means so much to me first thing, that's what made me to be what I am today. And secondly, it helped me to school my daughter overseas, give her one of the first-class education in Canada at York University. And now she's doing a very good business in Canada. I'm feeling very proud, and again, to know that at my age, they still want me to be in the system.
All right, Mr. Watson, thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution to the industry, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
We're now speaking with Myrtle Dwyer, and she's another one of our awardees this evening. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's been such a special evening for you and your fellow awardees.
Awesome. For one, I never thought for a moment. I never expect awards. I do, and I am, and whatever comes with it. So when I heard that I personally was being awarded this evening, I was like, that's impossible. I just happened to have been in tourism, did what I was supposed to do, and I'm enjoying it.
You've been in it for 50 years, so it must be something that you love.
Absolutely. It actually grew on me because came from the hills of Westmoreland to high school in Montego Bay High School to be exact. And Montego Bay was tourism, so we saw tourists walking up and down on the road. We were gracious and kind to them, and it became a part of me, and my curiosity led me into tourism, and it grew on me even further, and I studied the subject heading off to Germany in 1972 to study hospitality and tourism.
Jamaica has, sun, sea, sand, but a lot of other places have that. What do you think gives us the edge in the tourism industry?
Awesome. We're a nation of contrast. We're an island of diversity, and we're just a land of beauty with experiences to match every desire, every discerning client, every aspirational client, and every client who wants to come to Jamaica or thinks they need to get to Jamaica.
Now we know why you're one of the foundation members in the industry. Finally, just tell me, what does that mean to you to be one of the foundation members, one of the persons who helped to build the industry from where it was to where it's at now?
Actually, it's good because the times were tough. It was tough, one, being in the industry, working long hours, and two, being a woman. It was a man's industry. And so you had to contend with the men, and you had to contend with foreigners. And but you know what? It made me to be built of sterner stuff. And today my shoulders are broad, and I'm standing on the backs of a few others who came before me. But I'd love to have taught many who have gone on to be excellent women of industry.
And 50 years later, you have a real good legacy to look back on.
Absolutely, and I'm still going. Reinventing myself.
Still reinventing yourself. Thank you so much for talking with us. We take a quick break here from the Golden Tourism Day Awards here in Montego Bay. More after this break.
I'm 36. I'm a husband, a manager, and still very good looking. In 2 hours, I have the most important meeting of my life. But first, it's time to play. The new Suzuki Vitara.
M&A Strategy and Advisory. Are you planning for a merger or acquisition? M&A transaction. The decision to embark upon an M&A transaction is not one to be taken lightly. Whether pursuing a merger or acquisition or considering a disposal or divestiture, the complexities of an M&A transaction require careful planning and execution. Clients can depend on our specialist teams to lead or support transactions requiring specific expertise on issues including business modeling, fast-track M&A, economic consulting, and government public sector advice. With deep experience, knowledge, and tools, Dodge & Global can meet stakeholder targets and expectations. Dodge & Global consulting teams can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
Hi, I'm Edmund Bartlett, Minister of Tourism, and you are watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Welcome back to Business Access Television's coverage of the Ministry of Tourism and the Jamaica Tourist Board's Golden Day Tourism Awards.
The idea, of course, of having an event like this was born out of a realization that tourism has, over the last 50 years, evolved into the most important industry in the world today. And many of you would not have known or even realized what you had been putting yourself to and the tasks that you were assigned and the outcomes that in time would ensue. When you started out in your various areas, some of you have transformed into many, many other things. Others of you have painstakingly stood your path and have served well with distinction in your preferred area. And as Martin Luther King said, you became the best of whatever you wanted to be. If you were a busboy, you became the best busboy that there ever was. And if you were a gardener, you became the best gardener that there ever was. And if you were a driver, you became the best driver that there ever was. And whatever it is that you were, you did it like Michelangelo did painting. And we're proud, very proud to have you. But I wanted to just reflect a little bit on the fact that 50 years ago, when some of you started, and there are many who have done more than 50 years. As a matter of fact, when I went through the schedule, I saw that there were very few 50 years. There were more 51, 52, 53, as far down as 67 years. Hello, 67 years. And I reflected a little bit on what happened when 50 years ago some of you started. And 50 years ago, 400,000 people came to Jamaica for tourism purposes. And they spent $87 million US. Last year, because of you and your 50 years and more, 4.3 million visitors came to Jamaica and spent $3 billion US. And this year, we are going to see pretty close to 4.4 million people coming, and they are spending $3.3 billion US. In that same period, there were only 10,000 employees direct in tourism. Today, 120,000 people are employed in tourism because of you and your efforts. 50 years ago, we were not a factor in the GDP calculations. Today, last year, tourism contributed 8.4% of GDP because of your efforts. And I want you to recognize that we believe that the time is now right for us to look at this great industry that you've created and to build and create a new architecture that is going to ensure that the efforts and legacy of all of you is sustained in the constant development and the expansion and transformation of this country and the people of our country from poverty to prosperity. And we're excited about that prospect. As a result of which, we have been putting together a number of new initiatives towards that effect. In the introduction to me, mention was made of the efforts that we initiated in my first iteration as minister with regards to the pension program for workers of the industry. And to the benefit of those who would not give a lot of thought to it, that process continued while I was in sabbatical with the new minister, and it was taken to a certain point. But that point which it was taken to was not sufficient for us to implement, because there were a whole range of difficulties that emerged as a result of the type of policy that we have sought to implement. One which had no precedent in either Jamaica or the world. Nobody else in the world has a tourism policy for pension like we are trying to introduce. Nobody. And consequently, we had concerns by the legal entities as to exactly what it was. The second concern was that we had to legislate. And it would have been the first policy to be legislated in terms of contribution, because all policies otherwise are voluntary, and so the contributions are made voluntarily. We are introducing legislation to make it compulsory for everybody who is working or employs people in tourism to contribute to this pension plan, to make sure that we can secure the future of the workers of this industry. And so we are not going to be driven by any feelings about how quickly it should happen. Yes, we want it to happen quickly, but we want to have right. We want to get it right. And we want to make sure that at the end of the day, the workers, you who have worked for 50 years and over, and who have retired, can retire in the certain knowledge that there will be pecuniary rewards for you after you have left the companies that you work with. But one of the reasons that this particular pension plan is so unique and is different from all the others and cause a little bit of harder work and more detailed legal applications is that it's not confined to a single sector. And all the other pension plans relate to a particular sector or a company. This one, we are trying to embrace all the areas that connect with tourism so that the little man, the red cap at the airport will have a place in this pension plan. So that the craft vendor has a place in this pension plan. So the transportation sector, the Juta man and the Jekyll man, yes? And all the other transportation providers in Jamaica have a place in this plan. And also the attraction workers, the rafters. Yes, the rafters on the Rio Grande, and the rafters on Great River, and the rafters on Martha Brae, all will have a place in this plan. So this is an omnibus plan which will take into account all the connecting parts for tourism that has never happened before.
The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
This is Caroline Smith, marketing implementer for Sol Western Caribbean for Shell Lubricants, and you're watching Business Access TV, and they are serious about business.
But we need to do something else, as you see we are doing. We're building out the capacity of our human capital to generate quality services that you have started during your 50 years. And you have had over the period not the opportunity to get formal training, some of you. And others of you have slaved and worked hard in the various fields without certification. and you have suffered the consequences thereof because you get passed over every time and new people come in from overseas to take your place. Well, in this new arrangement and the new architecture for tourism, we are training our people, we are certifying them. We have established the Jamaica Center for Tourism Innovation, which is a pathway institution to professionalize the workers of the industry. And already we have provided 450 workers with qualification from the American Hotel and Lodging Institute and the American Culinary Federation. And what that does is to say that the efforts that you have made over the years to build a workforce in the industry must never be taken for granted, and that the Jamaican worker henceforth must have his rightful place in a professional arrangement and get the recognition and the remuneration that fits his qualification and his abilities. Within that frame, earlier this year, in September, we started the first ever program for high school students in hotel management. And so the fifth formers, as we know them, who now would go to sixth form, those 2 years between fifth form and when you graduate, an option is provided for you to get an associate degree in hotel management so that when you leave high school, you can go straight into the hotels and take a strong position as a worker. Not as a contract 3-month worker, but as a full-fledged worker within the industry. And so we are going to look at also the other levels of training that are taking place so that we put ourselves in a position where the workers of our industry can command respect not only at home, but anywhere in the world that they go because they would be certified. And the final area of that is that we are going to ensure that there is a labor market reformation, because the industry is no longer a seasonal industry where we work for 3 months or 2 months or 6 weeks and then you're gone and we close down. We are now an all year round industry where we are bringing up to 4 and more million people every year, and they are there every day. And so we have to look at those labor reform areas. So the next element of the development is how do we include the small and medium enterprises within the tourism industry to become a critical part of the value chain and also to be greater beneficiaries of the resources of tourism. And so Jamaica, little Jamaica, led the world in changing the way we look at small and medium enterprises. And we said to them, there is something called a small and medium tourism enterprise. Because these are the 80% of who constitute tourism in the world. But who only get 20% of the resources of tourism? Something is wrong with that, little Jamaica said to the UNWTO. And they have listened and agreed. And so we now have a situation where we are transforming that whole arrangement, where the liquor man, who has been the hero of wood and drawers of water in tourism, will now have a place, and a place that can supply for him a future for his children and himself. And that's very important. And what did we do in that regard? We established a training program for you, but then we went to provide financing. And we put $1 billion in Exim Bank to be lent to you, the liquor man, at 4.5% per annum for 5 years. And you can borrow $5 million to $25 million to expand your liquor business, to grow your liquor business, and to convert your idea in something of material value that can give you economic returns. And that's another part of that strategy, to create economic empowerment for the small people who are involved in the tourism industry. And finally, I want to say to you that we look at how do we then change the way in which we have been doing tourism. And we have established a task force under Mr. Wilfred Bagaloo, who is a partner of Price Waterhouse and a very reputed and knowledgeable person in that field. And he has been working over the last few months, and I've been interviewing people from all over. And the purpose of which is for us to look at what is happening through the various mechanisms and protocols in the international trade. Things like the EPA and other such constructs. And to see how those are impacting and affecting our traditional and local entrepreneurs in the tourism sector. And the purpose of which is to redefine that process and indeed to establish a new architecture to enable our Jamaican workers and our Jamaican entrepreneurs to continue to become a vibrant and valued part of the tourism value chain. This is very important to us. Then we have to look at how we interact with the visitors. 50 years ago, we built a tradition in Jamaica of us being a nice, sweet, loving, huggy, kissy, friendly destination. Not true? And that has worked well for us. And it has given us 42% repeat business. But the world has changed in terms of how people think about those type of relationships. We have to learn that no is no. And understand that everybody who comes to our destination doesn't come for the same things. And to recognize that people come for all kinds of things and to be prepared to make sure that we give what they need and what is required. So we are going to develop a whole new program of training and discourses and discussion about something that we're calling tourism ethics, which is the way in which we interact and relate to our guests in a manner which is friendly, yes, but is respective of their particular personality and their human rights. And I wanted to make that point tonight because I know that there is something in the public space which has not worked well for us. The issues of sexual harassment and the issues of criminality that historically or otherwise might have been a feature. We are determined that the new architecture must see a Jamaica that rids itself of even the slightest perception on that matter. And so next year early, we're bringing in an international team headed by Dr. Peter Tarlow and a group called Global Rescue to work with us to structure and to develop a full new program of how we interact and we relate to international guests. This is very important. It's not going to do any harm to us. It's going to put us in a better place. And it is going to make the 50 years and more that you have given to this become golden years, in fact, on which Jamaica is going to continue to build and to become the best tourist destination in the world. God bless you, and thank you very much.
You're watching Business Access Television's coverage of the Golden Day Tourism Awards. More after this break.
Cash flow and budgeting analysis. A business can be profitable and still run into trouble due to cash flow issues. We can forecast and evaluate your company's financial condition, estimate financing requirements, and track cash flow sources and uses. For more information and to discuss your requirements with one of our experts, please contact us today. Email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
Welcome back. You're watching Business Access Television's coverage of the Golden Day Tourism Awards. We're at the Convention Center in Montego Bay, St. James. Time now for more highlights.
It's now time to move into the awards section of our function today. And we will be presenting the awards in batches with assistance from some special guests for the handing out. So let me invite first up Ms. Janet Taylor, Executive Director of Devon House, to present to the awardees who have served for 50 years. Can we give her a round of applause as she comes forward, please? Let's hear it for Noel Bailey. And so let's hear it for our second awardee, artisan, craft trader Kathleen Johnson. Craft trader Velma Parker. Next is Vinette Patton Faulkner, craft trader. 50 years, ladies and gentlemen. Also celebrating 50 years, Gloria Ricketts, artisan, craft trader. Tour operator Judy Schoenbein. Also celebrating 50 years, water sports and hotel management, Ernest Smat. 50 years as a craft trader. Let's hear it for Eunice Thompson, our next awardee. Our next awardee is ground transport operator Ralph Smith. Next, we invite Dr. Kerry Wallace, Executive Director of the Tourism Enhancement Fund, to present to awardees who have served for 51 years. First, in this lot, is Raft Captain Keith Allen. Next one up is Lloyd Davis, 51 years. "51 years for tour operator Myrtle Dwyer. Also 51 years for Hayden Fulcott, raft captain. This awardee is craft trader Winifred Jones. Next on the list, though, is housekeeper Barbara Marsh, 51 years. Raft captain Leroy Miller is the next recipient of an award for 51 years. Another raft captain also with 51 years is Donald Morgan. Yet another raft captain, Euclid Richards, also celebrating 51 years. Next up is raft captain Jasper Roberts. And he is followed by raft captain Augustus Thaxter. And in this lineup of 51-year serving raft captains, we also have Owen Waugh. Ladies and gentlemen, the final of our 51-year awardees is Red Cap Porter Michael Sylvester Young. Mr. Young.
And we're now with Alan Daswani, and he's been in the tourism industry for over 60 years. Over 60 years. First of all, congratulations on being recognized tonight.
Thank you very much.
How does it make you feel to be among the awardees?
Oh, I think it's a great thing. I didn't expect so many people, but there are so many awardees today from all the sectors. But I'm glad that the minister has organized for the Duty Free Association and recognizing the duty-free shopping. So.
Tell me a little bit about your tourism journey. It's been 60 years, so you must have seen a lot, and a lot has changed. So talk me through your 60 years in the industry.
Okay, originally when I came, I started in the duty-free shops, but mostly my family, way back, has been involved in shopping. And our families that come from all the way back all the names that ends with A and I, they all come from one sector, all doing mostly the shops business, and that's how we started. And at my young days, when I was born, 8 years later, India was divided into 3 sections. One became Pakistan, the other one was India. Now, during the time when the Pakistan came, I had to migrate. Being a Hindu, I had to leave the country. So finally, I studied in India, went to the school, went one day to college, and that's it. For 1 year, I went to Africa. I was there for a year and a half in West Africa. But being in the trade, as a trader, I came to Jamaica. My cousins were here already. So they told me, hey, you come down to Jamaica. So we started our business in those years. This was 1959.
All right, Alan Naswani, thanks for talking to us, and congratulations.
We're ready to move into the next set of presentations, and so we invite Ms. Joy Roberts, Executive Director for JAMVAC, to present to awardees who've served for 52 years. Give her a round of applause, please. For 52 years, Isilda Brighton. Our next awardee for 52 years of service is craft trader Iona Hales Murray. And our final recipient in the 52-year category is Bertram Wright, Ground Transport Executive. Celebrating 53 years, ground transport operator Sydney Bennett. Also celebrating 53 years, craft trader Myrtle Cargill. Hotel worker Owen Codlin is our next recipient, 53 years. Next is Frank Gilmore from the food and beverage category. We now move to 54 years. Let's welcome artisan craft trader Pansy Campbell. And we keep the applause going for Eulalie Downer, artisan craft trader, also celebrating 54 years. Winifred McFarlane, also celebrating 54 years as an artisan craft trader, ladies and gentlemen. Also celebrating 54 years, let's hear it for Fitzroy Miller, raftsman. With 54 years, raft captain Sidney Reed. The final of our 54-year awardees is ground transport operator Astley Shakes. First in this lineup with 55 years of service is ground transport manager Kirk Taylor. He is followed by, with 56 years of service, Bellman Donovan Anglin. With 57 years of service, we call on raft captain Uriah Samuels. With 58 years of service is artisan craft trader Dulcie Daly. Also with 58 years of service, craft trader Elgita Evans. Also with 58 years is craft trader Mavis Rose. Also with 58 years, craft trader Ronald Stevenson. The final of our 58-year awardees is ground transport operator Melvin Williams. "59 years as an in-bond merchant is a long time. Manu Daswani, congratulations. And the final of our 59-year awardees is ground transport operator Branford Marson.
In this 1 degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Miniature model maker.
Game technician.
Animator.
Good job. Empowerment.
Career moves.
Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
Welcome back to Business Access Television's coverage of the first Golden Tourism Day Awards. Let's head on back over to the stage to see what's happening.
Ladies and gentlemen, these people have served for 60 years and some for more. The first of the group, serving for 60 years as an in-bond merchant, is Indru Dadlani. Serving for 60 years is craft trader Merdilyn Scarlett. Ground transport operator Percival Thompson. Serving for 60 years, ground transport operator Desmond Tomlinson. 60 years, bartender Herbert Teddy Tucker. 60 years, craft trader Aldith McFarlane. From hotel management, celebrating 62 years, Lionel Reed. We move from 62 to 65 years. Let's hear it for hotel worker Wordsworth Watson. And when we add 1 year to that, we get the 66 years of service of Elez Glenn. The final awardee with us this evening, 67 years, in-bond merchant Pishu Shandaram.
6 years after Jamaica gained its independence, Eunice Thompson joined the tourism industry. That was in 1968. So she's been honored at this function here this evening. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling very happy to know that I can attend in spite of I've got a sick foot, you know, and enjoy the tourism. I like my tourism and I enjoy the people them and the, you know, the tourists and everybody, black and white, everybody.
You know, I like how you say you like your tourism because I know it's people like you who encourage visitors and to come back and let visitors feel the warmth of the island. Now, talk to me about what it's been like for you in the industry.
Well, for me in this industry now, I gain a little money. I send my 10 kids to school, and I still have my business.
Just talk to me more about just how much tourism.
People. I meet movie stars, I meet doctors, and we correspond and so on in my time.
Well, Ms. Eunice, thank you so much for talking with us, and on behalf of the entire Jamaica, I want to say thank you for your contribution to tourism. Donovan White, thanks so much for joining us here on our Business Access TV coverage. Sure. Just sum up your feeling of the night for us.
No, this is fantastic. This is exactly what we wanted, what we hoped for. We hoped for a room filled with persons who have worked in industry. We awarded people from 50 years to 67 years. These persons have never been recognized before. They've given their lives to tourism and the industry of tourism. And so for us to be able to reward them in this way and acknowledge their service in this way is phenomenal. And the room was thrilled with just appreciation and gratitude.
We've built a tremendous industry, a very successful industry on the backs of a lot of these people. Just talk to me about that legacy.
Well, you know what? We don't grow without the work that these people have done. We stand today, getting 4.4 million visitors to come to Jamaica, earning $3 billion US. It's on the backs of the works of these people over the last 60-odd years. And so it is that's part of the reason why we've created Golden Tourism Day. And Golden Tourism Day is really a signifying, or really is intended to signify the start of the peak tourism season, where everything becomes in demand within the industry. And it is these persons that have continually given this kind of quality service to the industry over the years, why we can have these kinds of numbers. And so it is very significant and very timely, we believe, in relation to making sure that we don't continue to grow and go and continue to do new things without acknowledging the presence and the work of these people over the years.
Let's talk about the new things and some of the younger workers now in the industry. Because speaking to these awardees tonight, a lot of them was like, it's just the warmth of the people and the smile and all that, why a lot of people came back to Jamaica. So how do we use the lessons from these individuals to help grow the industry and to help influence the younger people within the industry?
Well, you know what? Like everything else, time changes everything. And whilst we continue to be an in-demand destination and ranked as the world's best in many spaces, we have to continue to look at how we train our people, how we develop our people, how we develop our industry. We're continuing to grow, but we're also continuing to change. Technology is going to help us with a lot of that. But technology is only a piece of the puzzle, because at the end of the day, we're still in the people business. At the end of the day, it's still about the experiences that our guests and our visitors experience when they come to Jamaica that makes them go away and take the selfie and post it and tag it and make Jamaica go across the world virally. So we understand the world we're in, but we also understand that in the world we're in and that we're operating this industry in, that we have to continue to change and get better as well. Congratulations again to all 57 of our awardees tonight. They range from 50 years of service to 67 years of service. That's phenomenal. I saw some of these ladies and gentlemen going across the stage tonight, and you would never believe the age of which they are today and the number of years they have served this industry. And so I just want to say to them, congratulations again. You've earned this honor, and you will forever be remembered as the first set of tourism workers, 57 of them, that was awarded on Golden Tourism Day, which, by the way, will become an annual event on the 15th of December, if the 15th is a Sunday. And if it's not a Sunday, then the Sunday following the 15th will be that day. And so we want to ensure that people in the industry, owners, operators, stakeholders, understand that this is a day when everybody must come out and support the people on the backs of whom we have climbed to build this industry.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got.
Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our finances.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
CEO of Mathlon Distributors. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
And we're now catching up with Inju Dadlani. He's one of the honorees tonight who has been in the tourism industry for over 50 years. But it goes further than that, because you said your father came here in the 1930s.
1932, and then they opened their business in Kingston. And then he was transferred in 1954 to Montego Bay by the Dadlani family.
Right.
And he went on his own in 1958 into fully tourism. And from 1958 till today, We never look back. We're always in the tourism. It's a different type of tourism we were in. We were in more souvenirs. We were in in cloth. And today we are in luxury, high value watches and jewelry.
So your business has evolved and kept up with the time. As the market changed, your business changed?
Well, the market has changed. You have Amazon, you have a lot of competition in the US. Luxury, the millennials are not so luxury love. They will spend $3,000 on an iPhone versus $3,000 a piece of jewelry. I know, but we are adjusting. We then have to pick it up in volume. We thank God that we have a dynamic minister pushing tourism to nearly 5 million tourists.
Being among the awardees here tonight, what does it mean to you?
It's an honor and a privilege.
All right, Mr. Dadlani, thank you so much. Congratulations to you and to your family, because it's a family tradition.
My pleasure.
Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett joins us now. Mr. Minister Bartlett, welcome to BATV's coverage.
Thank you very much.
The first Golden Tourism Day Awards, just some of your feelings for me right now.
Well, first of all, when I had the idea of making the 15th, 16th of December the Golden Day and to inaugurate this Golden Award, I thought that we over time had celebrated this as the start of the winter season. And we no longer have winter season, summer season. We now have all year round tourism. But in the psyche of the Jamaican people, it's still the 15th of December or the 16th of December. And so we decided to do just that. Yes, make this date still be a critical part of the tourism calendar, but in fact for a different purpose, for the purpose of honoring those on whose back we stand in this great industry today. The growth that we have had over the last 50 years has been phenomenal. No industry in Jamaica has grown consistently the way tourism has, and with the future and potential for even more growth. For example, early next year, we're going to be breaking ground for 6,000 more rooms. We're talking about bringing new products in, casino gaming with its attendant value added of entertainment and shopping and sports and maritime activities. Now, all of this is going to create a new demographic into the destination. And then to build up air connectivity with new markets, with the LATAM coming from Peru. For this winter season, for example, it's 11 new gateways that we've opened with 125,000 new seats coming in for this winter. So what we're saying is that to pause and reflect on what we've been and the journey, and then to refresh ourselves as we create a new vista for the next 50 years.
One last word of congratulations to the awardees tonight.
Yes, I want to thank them. 3,025 years of accumulative work and contribution to this industry. We wonder what tourism might have been had these people not done what they did. And so words are not enough to convey our feelings about them and our love and appreciation for them. I just want to say to them, God bless you all, and thank you so much for your contribution.
And that brings us to the end of Business Access Television's coverage of the first Golden Day Tourism Awards. We're coming to you from the Montego Bay Convention Center in St. James. We hope you enjoyed our coverage. I'm Kenil Gale. Pleasant viewing.
Creating change, building a future, caring hands, giving back, touching hearts, and shaping lives. Impacting our world for the better.
This is Solomon Sharp, CEO, Main Event Entertainment Group. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Hanging out with Natalie Otar, more popularly known as Natalia O. She's a marketing and PR consultant with a keen sense of style, a great taste for food and good vibes. She'll be taking us to Kaluga Cafe in Old Harbour, and then it will be on to Cellar 8 in Manor Park. So don't go anywhere. More chill spot after this. Hey guys, so we're on our way out to Kaluga Cafe, which is in, get this, Old Harbour. It's a full service bar and restaurant out there where we're gonna meet up with Natalie. But before we do, here are a few fun facts about Natalie. She's been working since she's been 17 years old. She's a single mom of 2 boys, and she's the voice and owner of Natalia O, which is a blog she started, and it has won several Caribbean Blog Awards. So let's go meet Natalie. So how did you even find this place?
Well, actually, I was at an event the other night and they did the catering and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Kaluga, yes, they had a wicked coconut shrimp.
And what else are we going to be doing for today?
Well, there's a hidden gem new in Kingston in Manor Park and Cellar 8. So we're going to go there.
Okay, I've heard of
after
it, never been though, I'm excited.
They have a nice wine selection.
Is it a wine bar or it's a restaurant too?
It's a restaurant as well.
Oh, okay.
So they have nice bites and it's a good mingle after
Yeah.
hours jam. You'll like it.
Okay, I'm excited.
Yeah, you'll fit right in.
Thank
Wow,
you very
that's
much.
pretty.
Wow, it's very beautiful.
Salute to the chill spot.
Okay, so we're talking about your professional life. How did you get started in marketing and PR though?
Marketing started out when I started a blog a couple years old, and writing for the newspaper allowed me a great platform to showcase different personalities, different fashion, different style elements in Jamaica for the average woman, everyday woman. So marketing just became an extension of the blog, and it's been amazing. It's just constantly evolving. I love the fact that I can now say I'm a photographer. I've actually shot you.
Really?
For Outlook, you got the cover.
Oh, yes.
Being in the creative world and in marketing, it allows your profession to be constantly evolving. I wear different hats. I'm a stylist, image consultant, and digital marketer.
Now, what would you say is your proudest moment so far in your career?
The proudest moment would be, I guess, I started the blog with a 13-year-old computer and I won the blog awards for the Caribbean. Yes, twice actually. And in a fashion realm where I'm not wearing designer shoes and I'm wearing budget pieces for the average everyday woman, that's an incredible feat. I was also featured on the Wendy Williams show twice.
Congratulations.
And yeah, as a Jamaican girl
great
from
exposure.
country. Yeah, that in itself was pretty amazing.
What was the feature about?
What's my style? So she has an Instagram feature. I'm not even sure she still does that. So twice I was featured.
You're mainly known for being a fashionista, having the blog. What else have you done?
You know, I think, Candy, the often misconception is that anyone who's an authority in fashion, it's a little trivial. And I think we need to debunk that in Jamaica because they're brilliant minds wearing fashion, talking about fashion,
Absolutely.
and gives us a good platform if we can empower women to look good.
It has definitely grown though, wouldn't you say?
Yes, it
and
has.
the perception of it, I mean,
It's
people are-
changing.
Yes,
It's changing
absolutely.
slowly. Well, you know, for a while I was a manager for a non-profit organization in Toronto, and what it served as a vocational program for persons suffering from mental illnesses. And what that was just eye-opening for me. It gave me a whole new world look on the world, because you develop empathy, you understand not everybody performs and works on your level, and you have to learn how to validate them, how to get people suffering from mental illness to work and to perform is not an easy task, to meet targets, to validate them and keep them going. So that was the most profound thing I've done in my life, and it taught me the most. And I do encourage everyone out there to volunteer. If ever you can volunteer and help others. And certainly it helped to demystify the stigma of mental illnesses. For myself, I didn't realize 1 in 5 persons suffer from mental illnesses.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that, you know.
And it opened my eyes that even as normal people, within ourselves, we waver on that spectrum of mental illness.
How would you say you maintain your competitive edge?
I always push myself harder. I'm like my hardest critic. So I'm always saying, Natalie, you can do this better. You know, you can go ahead, go more, push more. And, you know, I set high standards for myself and my team, my clients, my employers. They all expect the best from me. And my attention to detail helps me to achieve those.
Coming up, what sorts of challenges have you had to overcome?
Well, being that this is a creative world, we find that a lot of it is intellectual property, and you find it's hard for people to quantify and to say it's just an idea and to put a value on it. A lot of times people say, oh, let's go have a coffee and sit and talk, and they're picking your brains and they don't want to pay you for consultation. They'll take your idea and run with it. That is probably the biggest struggle I find.
Great design is not only how things look, but also how well they work. The GLC, more than meets the eye.
What sorts of challenges have you had to overcome in your career so far?
Well, being that this is a creative world, we find that a lot of it is intellectual property, and you find it's hard for people to quantify and to say it's just an idea and to put a value on it. A lot of times people say, oh, let's go have a coffee and sit and talk, and they're picking your brains and they don't want to pay you for consultation. They'll take your idea and run with it.
Oh, absolutely.
So that is a challenge. And of course, you know, you can get protection from legal team as for your creative content, but that is probably the biggest struggle I find, that a lot of people will call just to talk and pick your brains, and then they run with the ideas.
And what sorts of impact do you hope to have in the industry that you're in now?
Well, you know what, Candy, I must say, I don't know why you're featuring me here. I'm not that interesting. I'm completely humbled because I love what I'm doing. Every day I get to do what I love, talk about fashion, promote brands, and to reach their target demographic by a strategic approach. It means I love what I'm doing. I want to continue doing that. I want to continue enjoying my life, enjoying my job, and achieving my goals.
On a day-to-day basis, what keeps you motivated? How do you keep going?
Well, you know, I have 2 boys.
Well, that's enough.
That's enough. They keep me going. And, you know, someone said to me the other night at that party that, Natalie, what motivates me about the future of this world is that women like you are raising future kings.
Oh, that's so
And
nice.
yeah, that means the most to me.
And what's the best piece of advice you've ever received that you'd want to impart on us?
Oh, wow, that's a good one because I never forget it. The same telemarketing company that I worked with when I was leaving to go somewhere else, a lady told me, said, Natalie, always leave a job that you can get it back.
Right.
And that has stuck with me over the years.
Now, you mentioned that you've been working since you've been 17 years old. How has that impacted you?
Well, it means I'm a go-getter, and it also means I push myself, I have initiative, and I always find a way, and I'm always revolving and evolving and growing. And in every situation, I think you can learn. That nonprofit organization, I remember calling a former employer, and I'm like, this is not for me. It's a lot of work. I'm going to cry every day. And he said, Natalie, go. And I did, and it changed my life. It opened my eyes.
I mean, you sound like you've done so many different types of things. You even went away and you came back. How was that transition?
It's been good. Like, I mean, you know, I roll with the punches. I adjust, I adapt.
Now, of all the things that you've done, what would you say is the single most impactful one on who you are today?
I think working with Mark Azan was really good. Yeah, he taught me a lot, and he trusted me, and he said, Natalie, you're in control, go ahead. And he saw results. He saw instant results. And of course, a lot of my current clients right now, they see results when I produce, and that's rewarding in itself, I must say.
And what else are we going to be doing for today?
Well, there's a hidden gem new in Kingston in Manor Park, and Accelerate. So we're going to go there.
I've heard of it, never been though. Yeah. I'm excited.
It's nice.
Coming up, now we want to talk about the personal side of you. Tell me about your childhood.
A lot of people don't know is that I'm from a big family. I have 15 brothers and sisters.
What?
Yes.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Lovely, lovely, yes. I have to taste it first, and then that's standard, right? So I have to swish it around?
Yes,
Do I have
swish it
to
around.
swish? Did I swish okay?
Swish.
Oh, this is nice.
Like it?
Good to go.
Good to go. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, ladies.
Thank you very much, Milton.
Thank you, Milton. Salute.
Again, yes.
It's your spot.
Natalie, now we want to talk about the personal side of you. Tell me about your childhood.
Well, a lot of people don't know is that I'm from a big family. I biologically have 15 brothers and sisters.
What?
Yes. And I was raised by one of my older brothers. From I was 3, I was adopted by him and his family, raised in Mandeville all my life. And it was a good experience, good childhood. My father was an honorable man.
Right. What about the schools that you attended?
Well, I'm a country girl, so I went to West Indies College, which is now called Victor Dixon.
Okay.
We wore black to school. I think that is my affinity to black right now. Even now, I still love it. And it was a Christian school, an Adventist school. So it also taught me the importance of having a balanced spiritual life. I love their approach to teaching. They had a test every week, and it made us continually prepare for exams. So we did really well in high school. And later on, it's the same approach to all kinds of studies that I did.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, you mentioned previously in our first interview that you have 2 boys. Talk to us about them.
Dylan and Dustin, they're amazing. Little kings. Dylan is at Campion and 2nd year, and he's a special child, really guided by the Lord. He's an amazing person, and he teaches me every day. And Dustin is my spirited child. He is very theatrical, and he's got a marketing eye as well. He knows all the slogans, all the marketing slogans for every major company out there, and he can tell why that slogan works with this brand and mommy. So it's just amazing to see 2 different personalities in these brothers.
I've always found it interesting that children who grew up in the same house under the same circumstances can come out so different. That's very interesting.
But they complement each other, and they're just loving, happy boys. I'm blessed. I am.
You know the food nice when you taste it and you start dance.
It's delicious. Hi, Milton.
This was really delicious, yes. Really good.
Enjoyed every bite.
I did. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
You very much.
Compliments to the chef.
Right. So
how do you like your wine?
Oh my gosh, it's delicious.
Yes.
It goes perfectly with the food, with the salmon. What is it about pairing wine with food? How does that work? Do you know?
You know, it's not as complicated as people think anymore. Yeah, they're saying that red and white goes with whatever now. But traditionally, white is with white meat, fish, chicken, poultry, and red is with dark meat. But now you're mixing it.
Right. Okay. I want to get back into our discussion about the personal side of you. What would you say is your fondest childhood memory?
I had a good childhood. I had a really good childhood. I would say my dad, as I said, we're in a big family, and well, my dad, my older brother, he would get all the families together, all the brothers, the sisters, and we would load up cars and vans and head out to the grill for the weekend. And I remember the music playing, going on the way, a car full of kids, and it was just really good. And I think those are my fondest memories.
What else do you like to do for fun?
The truth is, I'm a workaholic, but I do like to go to the beach, Treasure Beach.
Oh,
yeah,
lovely.
Untouched.
Yes.
Beautiful part of Jamaica. It's a gem. Yes, I like to go to church on Sundays. It's balance, good balance.
Right.
Yeah, man. So faith is the most important thing for me, and it is the driving force for any major decision. I go take everything to prayer before I make a big decision.
What would you say is next for you? What's on the forefront now?
Wow, what's next? I just hope to be doing what I love, enjoying what I do, and what I never feel like I'm working.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Milton.
Ladies, it was a pleasure
serving you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
And Natalie, thank you so much for the most perfect day. We've actually never done 2 restaurants like back to back. So that was interesting, but I'm a foodie, so I loved it. And the food was absolutely delicious.
It was.
So thanks again. Let's cheers.
Thanks for having me.
Very much.
Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of another episode of Chill Spot. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, hanging out with Natalie Otar and experiencing her very exciting chill spots. Beluga Cafe in Old Harbour and Cellar 8 in Manor Park. Until next week, I'm Candy. Bye. Okay, let's do it again. Ready? Hey guys, so we're on our way out to Beluga Cafe. You want to taste the salmon? Knock yourself out. Woo! Delicious. Strong.
Strong. Pretty though.
Beautiful.
I like manly drinks with cherries.
So good. Yeah, this is my 3rd meal in 2 hours.
It's arguably the most significant invention to come out of Jamaica in the last 2 decades. A medical doctor, a mechanical engineer, and a computer scientist used technology to develop a way to train heart surgeons across the globe more efficiently. The heart simulator developed at the UWI is now being used by several universities across the world to train surgeons. Professor Daniel Kaur, who worked on the project, says after shelving the first prototype and moving on to other projects, he and the other inventors involved received a call that would change everything.
So in late 2007, we heard from Dr. Richard Fines, who was at the time chairman of the American Board of Thoracic Surgery. He had seen a video that had been released along with a paper that we had published. And in the video, we were just showing a small clip of what the heart looked like while, in operation, in use. And he wrote to Dr. Ramphal, basically did a little internet search, tried to find him, sort of located an email address for him at UWI, by which time he had already left UWI, and wrote him and said, I saw this video, is it real? Because if that's real, I'd love to come to UWI to see it, and would you be willing to set it up for us, because we are examining possible simulation environment scenarios for the cardiac surgery training, and this is something that we would like to sort of take a look at just to see what it can do and whether it's good for us.
After some persuasion, the team decided to go to the University of North Carolina to set up the prototype.
First time set up, right? So all these prominent heart surgeons had just come in to take a look at what's going on, and everybody was kind of blown away at just how realistic the heart beating was, and how realistic the whole environment was. So they took out the video footage and took that to their annual meeting that year at the Society of Thoracic Surgeons. And with that video at that meeting, just sort of, caught the eye of everybody who was at that symposium that year. And that ended up getting us invited to technology symposium for cardiothoracic surgery. And we got re-invited year after year.
Soon after that, the UWI developed heart simulator was a sought-after tool when it came to training heart surgeons.
It then got to a point where other places wanted one. They kept saying, how can we get one of these at our institution? So it was kind of around that time, that was started around 2009, that we started talking about how to get multiple ones of these. And by around 2011, we'd actually built them. So in that interim, we had negotiations, sort of thought about how to sort of make it a little more structured and sort of help ourselves get to the point where we could be talking to people who might want a license.
The simulator then ended up in some of the top medical schools in North America, revolutionizing the way heart surgeons were being trained.
Harvard's Mass General Hospital, University of Rochester, there was a University of North Carolina, Johns Hopkins, Vanderbilt, Mayo Clinic, University of Washington, and Stanford.
This was the first time ever heart surgeons in training were being exposed to real-life circumstances.
Kind of what I mentioned before, where you might have the pig's heart in a bowl. Or I suppose if you're working with a cadaver, which is going to be realistic, but it's a dead person. But nothing where the heart is, or actually a live pig. That is the closest that you could come if you wanted to get a full-blown operating room scenario, where you are standing around, there's a apparently living, beating heart, and you have to give the right instructions, and you have somebody controlling a pump, somebody controlling anesthesia, and then you have your partner in front of you, you're supposed to be giving the right instructions, and you're learning not just the specific procedures, but also the management of your team. The only way you could really reconstruct that without having a real patient on the table was a live pig. That was the closest you could come. So what our simulator was providing these guys with was a context in which they could reconstruct any scenario they wanted, when they wanted, at the time they wanted. So from the purpose of teaching, if today's lesson was to teach you something that hardly ever happened, they could make sure it's scheduled what's going to happen, because you set the simulator up to deliver that. So for them, that was a great opportunity to change how training in cardiac surgery could work, right? And at the same time, you're getting this high fidelity model, right? So you're not putting any patients at risk. You have this model that looks real. It bleeds when you cut it. It has a pressure. It shows you a computer trace that looks like it's a real trace on a monitor. So for all intents and purposes, just because you set it up, it's not real. But for all intents and purposes, it looks like a patient on the table.
The heart simulator has not only used technology to totally revolutionize the way heart surgeons are trained, but it is also helping to better equip surgeons to deal with real-life situations in real time.
There are some well-rehearsed procedures, as in over time, they've developed some procedures to respond to a particular kind of emergency. But if you as a resident only get trained via the operating room, then the only scenarios that you become familiar with are the ones that you see. Now, of course, if you see 100 cases, 200 cases, then you start thinking, okay, you're ready, you're competent, you can go, and you are going to be certified as capable of practice on your own. But what if the scenario that we're worried about isn't one that occurs so frequently? It might be 1 in 1,000 cases, it might be 1 in 2,000 cases. Those are still potentially life-threatening. You still want somebody who is going to now become an attending to know how to deal with them. And in the old situation, before our simulator, the only way they would have really gotten that exposure is through a textbook or somebody telling them, if you ever encounter this is what you're supposed to do. So it's kind of a hypothetical, and the response is really a kind of theoretical response, or at least a hypothetical one anyway. With a simulator, we can now say, okay, next week's lesson going to be how you deal with this. And I can tell you what you must do, and I can set up the simulator to make that emergency occur. So while you're doing your thing, suddenly something happens, and you say, what's going on? And it's for you to A, recognize that emergency going on, and then B, act appropriately. So you can actually now practice that, which is not something that you could have done easier before.
The heart simulator is the first UE patent to be commercialized, and with the recent commitment from Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark to pump more government resources into research and development, it is hoped that more patented inventions coming out of the University of the West Indies can be commercialized.
Your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
My My name is Levon Flynn, and you're watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Fashion styling involves passion, creativity, and a knack for fashion. This week on Cameo, we focus on 3 Jamaican fashion stylists.
Any fashion stylist would tell you that it starts from the ground up.
Jamaica forces you to be more creative in that you don't have as many options in terms of stores to always go shopping to find what you need.
I didn't know what I exactly wanted to do, but I know that it was in fashion definitely.
The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo.
Fitch Fletcher has been ripping the runway with her sense of style from early. The fashion stylist and creative director shares her journey.
I've been doing this ever since I've been about 17. I'm 32 now. So I'd say give or take for about 13, 14 years. I started off as, any professional would start off as an intern, second assistant, first assistant, then as a lead stylist. Well, any fashion stylist would tell you that it starts from the ground up. So I got started wanting to, the whole idea of making people look pretty. It started off as any stylist would, dressing people, wanting to, I had a dream, you know, I was friends with Sean Paul growing up, and I always had this dream when he got big, I wanted to dress him on tour and do all these great things. So I got started off interning, doing music videos and stuff like that. And then I had an opportunity working with Maxine Walters Productions when I was about 17 or 18, being a second assistant on sets for like Heineken International, Malibu Rum, doing stuff for Red Stripe and doing all that stuff and getting my feet wet in the industry, and I really loved what I was doing. That grew to me saying, you know, I wanted to do fashion designing, and I always wanted to be a designer. From when I was young, I was always in my mom's clothes, cutting up clothes, making jewelry out of anything that I could make. And then it kind of hit me, and I said I need to go to school. If I want to be a true professional, I need to learn the craft, learn the art of it. And I went to school in Milan, where I studied fashion design. And having, you know, may her soul rest in peace, Michelle Haynes, she taught me the industry when I was 16, and she was one of Jamaica's only one of the biggest successful wardrobe stylists out here, working with everybody from Shabba Ranks up until now. She passed away in 2015, may her soul rest in peace. So I learned, and she said that to me when I started interning with her when I was 16, she said, Fitch, you need to go to school. She goes, you're talented, you understand this, but you need to learn more, and there's a lot that I can't teach you that I think you need to learn from other people. I just understanding, as I said, fabric, cutting, hemming, sewing, pattern making, so that if you have to cut a shirt on set really quick, you know how to do that. Understanding the body, because clothes fall on people's bodies differently. What may look good on you is not going to look good on me because our body types are different. So just understanding the human body as well, between men and women, how men's shoulders are different from female shoulders, a man's jacket, understanding the cut of a man's jacket from a woman's jacket, from pants. It's very complicated, and I think just going to school and learning the craft, I think, is important. And if you don't, just try to learn from somebody. Go intern, go be an assistant. How I learned the process is I had to become a part of the wardrobe union in New York. And that's one thing that I was hoping that one day Jamaica will have, is a union where stylists and creative directors and producers are part of this union, where we learn the process, learn the structure of the industry. So becoming a part of the wardrobe union in New York, 765, we learned that in order to book a job, you have to have a book. You have to be scouting job. You have to have a book, build a book, and then scout these jobs. That doesn't work typically in the industry out here. How it works in Jamaica is if you work through an agency like The Lab or Admark or any of them, they will contact you. They will say, okay, Fitch, we need a stylist for X job, being like a Digicel or a corporate, just say a corporate job for an example. They'll book you through that, and then you will meet with them, meet with their internal teams, and know what mood they're looking for. Then you go to the streets and you scout. And any stylist in Jamaica, retail stores are going to be your best friends. It's not like set up how it is in America where you have showrooms where you can go and borrow clothes. In Jamaica, retail stores are your best friends. So luckily for me, I've had a great relationship with Care Man Woman Home for the past couple of years. I met her 3 years ago. She's like a sister of mine, but you have to build that relationship, and our relationship was built professionally first. I've styled sports figures in Jamaica. I have styled models for fashion shoots. It's important to understand the client's needs and wants, understanding their body tones, their body colors, their hair color, what they're like, their body proportions, what's going to look good on them, and then also mastering the art of taking somebody out of their box so they feel like hiring a stylist was worth their time. You understand? Because anybody can dress themselves, but when they say, I'm going to hire a makeup artist or a stylist, there's a reason why, because they want to look not the norm. They want to look different from they always look. So they are expecting you to keep them looking the same, but a little bit outside the box and more sexier, more fluid, yeah. I've been blessed that when I started off as a stylist, over 10 years ago, the industry was different. Everything was a little bit more tangible. Now in 2016 and beyond, styling has now moved into e-commerce. Everything is online. That's where fashion is going. It has an online presence. So I've been lucky enough to move into the e-commerce space, working with a company like Amazon, doing product styling, and that's something new for me. Styling is ever evolving, ever changing. If you guys are going on Amazon.com or michaelkors.com, all these websites that you're seeing the clothes move, it's a lot of this stuff, it's not what you think it is. It's a whole nother realm. I've been working with the collection Moda. That was a challenge within itself, and it's been a great challenge because I have learned how to do styling for our magazine, which is a beast within itself and a beautiful beast because we pumped so much content into that with doing fashion stories, editorial stories, and commercial stories. Challenges, the challenges in Jamaica, the most that I find is that I'm finding that there isn't enough creative content being brought to the table for stylists to feel hungry enough to want to work. Meaning that I just feel like as a community, as a styling community, we're becoming a little bit lazy, where we're not bringing enough creative content to the table. There aren't enough people who want to do test shoots, who want to continue understanding how to build your book. If you don't have a book, you won't be a successful stylist. You have to learn how to continuously, gradually continue to just keep shooting and building yourself creatively. I think a lot. I'm blessed. I work hard and I take my craft really seriously. I was blessed to work at NBC in New York. That was a huge success for me. I worked in TV and film for nearly 2 years, and it was an amazing experience. Being at 30 Rock, being at 75 Rock, working with various different celebrities, working on daytime TV shows and nighttime TV shows, that was a huge success for me. Working on ad campaigns like for Movado and Rolex. Working with Amazon is a success for my career at my age, learning something new. Being a part of a team like the Collection Moda is a success for me because I've been with the brand nearly 4 years and we've grown exponentially, and I think that's a success of what we have achieved as a team and as a brand. Working with different celebrities and just building myself as a brand and focusing on the task at hand, I think that's where I'm successful and not getting too caught up in the noise.
Coming up next.
It's as simple as, a client wants a suit for a commercial and you just need to get a suit. Or it can be that you're styling for a band, aka the Jolly Boys that I've worked for, where you had to kind of create a look for them.
Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
my name is Cheryl Baker, and I am a stylist, an artist, a designer.
Cheryl Baker is known as the Retro Queen, as she is able to effortlessly style retro looks. She spoke to us about her business.
Officially, I started in Jamaica when I came back in 2005, but I graduated from university early 90s. And I would have had my first styling job doing a music video for some friends in Toronto. But in terms of Jamaican landscape, I would say from 2005. It's as simple as, a client wants a suit for a commercial and you just need to get a suit. Or it can be that you're styling for a band, aka the Jolly Boys that I've worked for, where you had to kind of create a look for them.
We're in Munich, Germany today, and this is the Jolly Boys changing room. We actually have a really great changing room today. Today I'm doing a Jamaican theme, so that's German and Jamaican. So if you look, Albert, our lead guy, is doing German colors, so German flag, black, yellow, red, powder, and the rest of the gang are doing like Jamaica, green, black, and yellow.
Or it could be an up-and-coming artist that you want to do branding, like rebranding, or just present a certain image for them. So styling can entail vast and varied things. Basically, I work on film, videos, commercials in all aspects. So short film, feature film, commercials for corporate entities, your basic brands, Digicel, Flow, water commercials, like all products that are on the Jamaican landscape, and as well for music videos for vast and varied artists, local, known, unknown, even some foreign content that has come to Jamaica. I think Jamaica forces you to be more creative in that you don't have as many options in terms of stores to always go shopping to find what you need. You're also working against limited timelines. North America stores are open till late. You have a lot more variety. Budgets are always another issue to work with. You're given a party budget, but they want caviar results. So you have to be creative. You have to come up with something and find the best way to give a look without it looking cheap. Some of them are more exciting than others. It depends on what it is. For a basic commercial, sometimes you don't get as excited because it's very simple. It's, a shirt is a shirt is a shirt, or jeans are jeans. But in the event of, say, doing a music video, like I remember doing a music video for a Taurus rally, and it was going to be launched for Black History Month, and it was Shaka Zulu Picnic. So in terms of, doing the research or just getting excited about recreating like an African landscape, or recreating warriors and the shields and the swords and, their clothing, and a Maasai warrior. So that to me was a lot more exciting to get into, because it forces you to be creative and you get to do a little research and a little history if you're not aware of the subject title to begin with. Major challenges. Well, when you're styling, a lot of times clients don't always pick the talent in due time. So you're being told at the last minute who they're actually using. So to shop can be a challenge because you don't know sizes. Sometimes you don't even see what the talent looks like. And you can have 5 people that are small, but their body proportions are vast and varied. So that creates an issue. A lot of stores as well, they're not so willing to give you money back if you haven't used an item. So that becomes a problem because the client may not like something and you want to exchange it. But if they don't have another style to change it with, you can't just get your money back and go to another store. So you have to be very discerning in the things that you get. Another issue, just straight budgets, you know what I mean? You're given a very small budget, but they want options. And another issue is that a lot of retailers don't want you taking pictures of their clothes. So when you need to do mock-ups to send through for jobs, it becomes a problem because they don't always want pictures. And then when you're posting things from the internet, you can give an idea of what you want the talent to look like, but then the client gets locked into that internet image and then you can't find the clothing. So that becomes problematic. So budgets help. Time is also a master, so if you're given more time, because there's some things where you're really against the clock, so you're always having to pull a rabbit out of a hat. I mean, there's many times where I just take some of my own things that I have. I don't mind, but then, you end up charging a rental fee, or sometimes the client will cry. So you just sacrifice whatever for getting the job done. I think having an idea and seeing it come to fruition is a big success. You know, having a client being really happy with a job or a particular artist, or having an idea and, you know, not necessarily know where you're going to find the things, but then you go out and you find exactly what you need in the right place at the right time. And just seeing a whole project come together, that to me is success. It's exciting. And then just to be called for more work from a client, that's to me success, because once you have repeat business, then you're doing the right thing. I think there's vast and varied opportunities for individuals. I mean, a lot of it is networking. A lot of it as well is to sell yourself, but not in a way that's, you know, in your face. I mean, I always say let your work speak for itself. So if you're doing the right thing and you're doing a good job and you're being professional